everyone. It's a Sunday evening here with your friend Rick. It is the 24th of February of 2019. If you'd like to reach out to me for paperwork, please keep it brief. Just child support. My email is rick, R-I-C-K, 0327@me.com. My email will be in the description box as well. Okay. All right. This is a mishmash video. I want to cover a couple things to remind people. We have to talk about many of you. It's sad that what happens is they tricked us by signing marriage certificates, signing acknowledgement of paternity in hospitals. These are all contracts, and when you agree to contracts, most of the times you are giving up your constitutional rights. That's how they're able to get away with the Constitution. That's the reason why a lot of these judges will say to you, well, you don't, the Constitution doesn't count in here, and then you're like, well, you get all mad. You're like, well, because it sounds outrageous for a judge to say that, and I used to think that until I learned that when you sign a contract, a private contract with anybody, there is no more constitutional rights because the agreement is based on the words in that contract. Okay, it's kind of screwed up. And many times you're bound by your signature, and there are ways to fight it. The rescission of signature, because you're told that you got to sign a marriage. You want to get married. I want to get married. Well, before you get married, you got to sign a marriage. You got to apply for a marriage license, and you got to sign it. That's completely understandable, right? Unbeknownst to you, that you're agreeing that you're going to support any children born in that marriage. You're also agreeing that if you are to get a divorce, you must get a divorce through the state court system. And basically, you're bound by some shitbird judge that's going to dictate to you what you're going to have to do. And you're bound by some crazy divorce decree for the rest of your life, basically, because you're married to that person. Even though you're divorced, you're still married to that divorce decree. Take it from somebody like myself. I mean, my children are older now, but oof, it was rough. It was rough. What else? Yeah, and the acknowledgement of paternity. Oh, it's unbelievable. Okay. Before we do that, let's share some good news. I reached out today from one of the guys who's been with me for a while, Donnie. Good guy, real good guy. Used my old paperwork, and it didn't work, or fought. And again, I told you guys in my last couple of videos, I'm telling you that the new paperwork that I have is causing some ripples. All right, the child support agencies, they're having a hard time coming up with some new bullshit to rebut this stuff. There is no rebuttal, actually. You can't rebut. They can't rebut their own words and the laws that they're bound by. So by the same laws that they claim that they can withhold your wages, well, you can, again, in the paperwork we say, well, I'm not subjected to your income withholding order because I'm not a member of the armed services or uniformed services, and I'm not an employee of the federal government. And even if you are, okay, you could still, claim that you didn't, that you were that was unbeknownst to you, that whatever you signed to get your job, like when I got my job, like 25 years ago, I had to sign a piece of paper that I was not allowed to sue my employer. That's not legal. I mean, that what am I going to say? No, and then they're going to, I'm not going to get the job. Of course, you got to sign it. All right, but there's also the geographical things. You could say that the child support agency is not located within the, the District of Columbia, blah, blah, blah. So there are other ways, if you just so happen to be a federal employee, excuse me. All right. A few weeks ago, he reached out to me, Don, and he's like, Rick, I want the updated paperwork. All right. He sent me a small gift. Okay. This is the proof. All right. This is proof of me sending it to him. Okay. Because, there's always some shitbirds out there that like to claim that I'm full of shit. I'm one of the few child support guys out there doing videos that I actually have. I can come up with videos that show that my paperwork's actually worked, and then I'm still called a fraud. Okay, that's because the people that call me a fraud are trolls, and they don't want you guys coming to me. Okay, it's not. They don't want you guys coming to me because I'm on my game right now, big time. All right. So I sent them the paperwork. See, new paperwork. I have a folder called New Paperwork. It's all the new paperwork that you've seen in my videos recently. So like many times I have people who have gotten my paperwork in the past, and they're like, Rick, how can I get the new paperwork? So I just call the folder New Paperwork, and it's updated paperwork. I update whenever I come up with new findings, new laws. I have to update all my old paperwork. It's a lot of work. Okay, for my paperwork to stay present, I have to do a lot of things. So anyway, as you can see here, I sent it to him in the end of January. Okay. All right. So all right. So get rid of that. All right. There we go. Very good job. All right. So this is from him. IWO cancellation. He received in the mail. He sent out the paperwork, and he got in the mail. He got a cancellation. They're not taking money from his paperwork anymore. Okay. If I can find it here. Here it is. All right. So here it is. This is a picture of it. All right. It's the IWO termination of IWO. Okay. Donnie. All right. February 6th. Not bad. Huh? It's pretty damn quick. So there's a happy guy, and he's been with me for a while. He's a good guy. Gentleman. He's a gentleman. Okay. He's a man of his word. He's a gentleman. He's not one of these guys that's always, looking for free paperwork. Okay. So there's good news. Good job, Donnie. Happy for you. You deserve it. All right. Here's what I was talking about. Now, this here is an application for, where is this? Florida. In Florida, you're applying for, and that is an application for marriage. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to read it. It says, we attest that we have obtained and read accessed information contained in Family Law Handbook. It's a handbook under Florida Statute 741-0306. Okay. All right. This is always going to be fun whenever I try accessing the internet when I'm doing videos with you guys. Okay. Many of you don't pay attention. You're getting married. When you get married, who the hell's thinking about divorce, right? Who's thinking about down the road that you're going to be bound? You're going to be married to the state. What happens is the state becomes a third party to the marriage. It's horrible. Okay. So, there you go. Florida. See how slow that is? Statute 741.0306. Okay. Here it is. I looked it up earlier today. Oh, the Florida Bar is it behind this? The Florida Bar Association. Are they wonderful people? So what they're gonna make sure that they're gonna make money off of you when you get married, when you get divorced, and when you have a child. They're wonderful people. They got to make sure they monetize your happiness and your sadness. Okay? Creation of Family Law Handbook. All right. So basically, what it says here, they got to give you this when you're getting when you're applying for the marriage certificate, and it shows you what you're bound by. I'm not going to read all of it, but look, child support for minor children. Both parents are obligated for support in accordance with the applicable child support guideline schedule. Isn't that wonderful? That when you're applying for your Florida marriage certificate, they're getting you right there. Court process for dissolution with or without legal counsel assistance, including who may attend, the recording of so you're bound by this. Isn't this horrible? This is horrible. Oh, when I saw this today, I was like, Jesus Christ, because one of my guys is getting screwed over in Florida right now. My man Paul. We got this maniac judge who's out of control. She's practicing law from the bench, file paperwork, and before the other attorney files a rebuttal, she's rebutting it already. So the other attorney doesn't have to do anything. She just has to sit back, and the judge is doing all the work for her. Okay? All right, so that's that. So we covered that. That's just Florida. I'm not going to show you all. This is when you acknowledge in the hospital. Now, how many of you guys, you're happy you went to the hospital, your child is born, and you're signing, acknowledgement of paternity, so you're signing it. You don't realize what you're agreeing to, right? So, yeah. All right, so this is by signing an acknowledgement of paternity, certain legal paternal rights are established. The father will have the guaranteed right to be responsible for child support. Isn't that great? The right to use his last name, but they're right there. They're bound to pay child. And you got to pay child support through the state. Okay, so that they get you there also. Okay, just by signing piece of paper, your signature is so. Your signature can be so damning to you. You don't realize by picking up a pen, by scribbling your name, what it can do to you. You don't. It's down the road too. I mean, it's unbelievable. Okay, it's unbelievable. All right. All right. So I just did a quick slide. I just it gets me too depressed. All right. Sadly, you're tricked into paying child support before marriage, after birth in the hospital. When you sign an application for marriage, you're agreeing that you will support your children and get divorced using the state courts. All right. It's so in order for you to for this not to hurt you, you got to hope that when you're getting divorced, you and your soon-to-be ex-wife or ex-husband are on good terms, which most people aren't. And if they are, when the lawyers get involved, the lawyers will do everything that they can to make it contentious. That's their job, to make everybody angry. They don't want happy divorces. All right? So it's horrible. All right? So, anybody out there, you have any family members getting married soon or going to have a child, just be careful what you sign. All right? Just be careful what you sign anyway. All right? Just, something to think about. Okay? All right. So, and then lastly, what I want to talk about real fast is the writ of habeas corpus. This is another important case law. It's a Supreme Court case law. I got it from one of the YouTube videos with the Moors. They got really good stuff. Those guys know their stuff. And I don't mind, borrowing from their knowledge. They did the work, and then I just acknowledge them, they know their stuff. So this is Jones versus Cunningham. And what it is, it's another case law that's proof that you do not have to be in physical custody to use writ of habeas corpus. They do not want us to know this. They will do everything that they can to prevent us from accessing the court for a writ of habeas corpus. You have, when you go there and petition for, you're not really supposed to be petitioning, but you have to, because you'll be fighting with the people behind the counter. All right, so you just got to go along with the game. When you go for a writ of habeas corpus, you're supposed to see the judge that day. You want to see the judge that day. You want to, maybe in court, you want to be facing a judge, and you want to be able to do it that way. You don't want to do it through the mail. You don't want to have a writ of habeas corpus where you get a decision through the mail, because you will lose every time. All right, so you have to understand that. All right, so let me just show you. The writ of habeas corpus is, all right, is not now and never has been a static, narrow, formalistic remedy, meaning it's just meant for one remedy. Okay, that's why it's called the poor man's lawyer. It's why it's called the great writ. It's because any restraint of liberty, any deprivation of due process, you can use a writ of habeas corpus. And you do not have to file an appeal. I've done a few videos on this, but I have to keep reminding you guys that that's your ultimate remedy. All right, and this could also be used by my friends out there, my subs, who got screwed over by a bad divorce decree, divorce agreement. All right, you have the right to a trial by jury. All right, every state has it. I did a video on it. If you were not offered a trial by jury, or you did not waive it, that's what you're going to fight on. All right. Getting back to my friend Paul before, the judge he brought up, we brought up the case that he was being deprived of a trial by jury. This crazy judge, you know what her response was? He asked for it too late. That was her exact words. He asked for it too late. Well, it's a right that's inviolate, meaning it cannot be violated. So the only person that can take away your right to a trial by jury is you, by waiving it. So right there, that response is proof that he has the right to a trial by jury, because a divorce is called a controversy, right? It's a controversy. Is it more than $20? You're damn right it is. So there you go. So there's your remedy. All right. So so anybody out there, have at it. If you have my paperwork, you have my writ of habeas corpus paperwork. All right. So what else can we show you? Oh, by the way, this is for those of you who just jumped on board. This is Google Scholar, right? This is the case law, and then you click on how cited, and you get how other courts cite it. Okay, how it's acknowledged in other courts and how they paraphrase it. Okay, has never held that a habeas petitioner may be in custody under conviction when the sentence imposed. What else? Where is it again? Holding that a prisoner who has been placed in front of, where is it again? History, usage, and precedent can leave no doubt that besides physical imprisonment, there are other restraints on a man's liberty. Okay? United States Court of Appeal, Ninth Circuit, very liberal court, by the way. Okay? So we're going to talk about that. And then I just want to show you real quick my man Ronnie. All right? My man Ronnie's in Texas. This guy's a beast. All right? He takes my paperwork, but then he adds his little stuff too, because he's a very bright man, and he does a lot of studying. Excuse me. So he goes to court the other day. I wait for my name to be called in the docket, but before I was approached by a gentleman from the AG's office who knew who I was and said, "It was a pleasure meeting me." I advised him that I was not an attorney. Now he blows smoke up his ass, which he then says, "Maybe not, but you are very intelligent." Whenever somebody comes doing stuff like that, beware. Then he walked off. Once the judge called my name, she said, your case has been removed to family court. Now, because he's a bright guy, right away, I said, objection. Can I get class? It's a guy paying attention. Can I get clarification as to why? And if I wanted to have my case heard there, I would have filed my case in that court, meaning family court. So, right, you know what happened there? The judge, these judges pull all kinds of trickery. That's why, so this is him using my paperwork, guys. And he adds his own stuff to it as well. But this is mostly it's my paperwork. So, you know, all the people out, you know, that idiot that called me a fraud. All right, this is a judge pulling trickery because the judge doesn't want to deal with my paperwork. All right, this is right here as a compliment to me, although it was rough for Ron because they screwed him over. So she said, I have alerted them of your case and they will be hearing it. So I walked down to the court with the AG and they didn't want to let us in. About 15 minutes, the court coordinator finally let us back to the chambers area. She said that she knew nothing about my case at all. She pulled it up and was like, whoa, we have to put you on pro se docket. So I said, whatever, and walked out to make an appointment. So what they did was they avoided dealing with him that day. I'm telling you, it happened to me too. I was in a courtroom, and the judge did the same thing to me. Oh, you know, you're gonna go downstairs, and they're gonna send you. And I never got back into the court ever again. That's what they do. They get you out of the courtroom, so you don't got to deal with you. It's all kinds of trickery. Okay, it's really bad. That's why I'm telling you, with the writ of habeas corpus, you have the right to see the judge that day, and you're supposed to go to the head of the dockets. Okay, that's the type of filing it is. And by the way, it's a constitutional remedy. They cannot deprive you of it. That's another beautiful thing about it. And they can't give you this nonsense. Oh, you got to file order to show cause. An order to show cause is a procedure. They cannot write up state laws or procedures that undermine a constitutional right. They cannot do it. All right. This is what he filed, Ronnie. Look at this thing. It's beautiful. Okay. He added some of his own spin to it, but most of it is mine. Okay. He added the Texas code. Okay. Objection. This response is by a man. The petitioner, who is a state citizen, born sovereign with special privileges and immunity inside the land territory known as the state of Texas, and therefore this excludes him from legal process for the enforcement of child support and alimony obligations. Consent is required. This is the filing that they didn't want to see him on. Okay, look at this thing. It's beautiful. All right, let me see. All right, here's some of the case law he cited. Here's what he added. Beautiful. The state child support plan in Texas does not give rise to individual rights. It was not intended to benefit individual children and custodial parents. Child support is really welfare recoupment court. They reworded it. This is how slick they are. But it's simply a yardstick for the secretary to measure the system-wide performance of the state's Title 4D programming, allowing her to increase the frequency of audits and reduce the state's federal grant. Okay? What it is that it's not, the money does not go to the children. It doesn't go to the family. It goes to the state. Okay? This thing is beautiful. Great job, Ronnie. That's why I'm showing it. All right? This is my paperwork. And again, he added his own stuff to it. He's on top of his game. He's a beast. So him and me together were dangerous. And that's what happened. Look what happened. He took my paperwork, and some judge pulled some trickery, sadly. But listen, he's still moving forward. It hasn't been dismissed. All right. My last video, I showed you one of my guys has, instead of a child support hearing, right, he's going for a dismissal hearing. So instead of going to establish child support and figure out the the numbers to pay child support, he's going for a dismissal hearing. Okay, that was the last video I did. All right, so okay, congratulations. Look, I got Ronnie and I got Donnie. Okay, congratulations, Donnie, on the termination of income withholding order. Good job, Ronnie. I'm sorry what happened, but you'll bounce back from that. It's not a dismissal. It's not the end of the game. All right. Be careful. If you have any family members out there getting ready to get married or getting ready to have a child, do not let them become slaves by using their signature. Okay. And the writ of habeas corpus. Okay. That's a big remedy, guys. All right. All right. So listen. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Good night.